Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video is the first of what I hope is many Rob recommends. And in these videos, I'm going to recommend shows, movies, games, whatever I come across that I think is pretty good that I want to share with you guys in case you're not aware of it, so you can be aware of it and try it out yourself. This one, we're going to particularly talk about some TV shows that I've taken in lately. And if you've been on the streams, you know exactly where I'm going to go with this. So you know, it's nothing new to you. But for those of you who are not on streams and watch these videos, I'm very excited to share at least two shows that I've recently watched that I enjoyed a great deal. And I'm going to share them both here. And the first one is Reacher. Now, if you have Amazon Prime, both these shows are on Amazon Prime. And Reacher is... sure many of you have heard of Reacher before. There was a movie that starred Tom Cruise where he played the title character, but this show on Amazon Prime is phenomenal. And what I love about this show is that it's your typical action show with a bit of a twist where the main character, Jack Reacher, is not only a big muscle-bound action hero, but he's actually very, very smart and very clever. And he's excellent at investigating and breaking down certain scenarios to figure out what's going on or figure out a clue. So, you know, this is like, he's not your typical dumb, you know, jacked up fighter. You know, he's pretty much got it all. You know, not only can he fight, not only can he handle guns, but he can figure out clues. He can think for himself, and he's very, very smart. So the show starts off with Jack just in a town where he's looking at the history of this blues artist, and he gets involved in a crime that starts off as a murder mystery, and he's one of the suspects. And as the mystery unravels, he gets deeper and deeper involved, and he teams up with a cop, a female cop who's an awesome character. You know what I mean? And it just takes off from there. And it's got a great setup and build throughout the whole series. You know, it starts off, like I said, with the murder mystery, and then the mystery expands from there. And you start to learn that there are things going on in this small town that not only involve a much larger and greater crime, but also even involves Reacher in and of himself directly. And it's just a lot of fun. The fighting scenes are extraordinary. The interaction with Reacher and the chief cop is just great. You know, they kind of start off hating each other, but then from there they start to grow on each other. It's almost like a little buddy cop. It's like a 3-man buddy cop system here, because you got him and the chief, and then him and the lady cop, and they all just work well together. But him and the chief in particular are always good because they banter a lot. And Reacher has a very dry sense of humor. He doesn't really show a lot of emotion. He's a bit stoic. From what I heard, he's a lot more stoic in the novel. So I'm glad that they didn't put that into the show, because he's got enough delivery of emotion and charm to get by. But otherwise, he is very serious. He's very, you know, down to business and very confident, very cocky. But he delivers. He backs it up, you know, with all his history, and you get to learn a lot about him as a character, what made him the way he was. It's just, but you know, what makes the show good is not only is it the action, but the story is good as well. The way they build it up, the way everything starts to unravel, it's just fun. It's just 10 hours of absolute fun. No garbage, no bad writing, just a fun ride. I mean, I couldn't, you know, there's not too many shows I would recommend more. And I've really been out there hunting to watch content that is not superhero heavy. I'm getting so kind of, you know, to me, Marvel's slowly declining in their content. You know, even Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, while it's certainly not the worst Marvel movie, for me personally, I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was underwhelming. I thought there was a lot of missed opportunity. And the Marvel shows have been also a big disappointment. So I've been really looking to watch things that are just not Marvel or even DC related. I'm kind of I need a break from that for a while, you know? And Reacher was such something refreshing to watch. It was just a lot of fun. You know, the dude that plays him is just jacked. I mean, this dude's like 6'4", 270, pure muscle. And but he's a good actor. You know, he does the role very well. And like I said, he's got a little hint of charm that's just enough to carry him through the show. But the way he breaks down, the way he figures things out, is pretty fun to watch. And the way he does have this dry sense of humor, it can be very good. For the most part, it's very good. There's sometimes it misses, but not very often. Overall, I recommend Reacher. If you have Amazon Prime, take 10 hours, whether you do it all in one binge on a weekend or if you do one episode a day, take time out to watch the show. It's a lot of fun. It's very classic action. I'm talking like late 80s, early 90s classic action, but only in this one you get a good story. You get great sequences, and man, he handles this this gun. It's like a hand cannon, but he's so big that, you know, it's very cool. It's a very cool show. So yeah, definitely recommend Reacher on Amazon Prime. Now, the other show I want to recommend, and once again, if you've been on the streams, you've heard me just gloat and go crazy about this one, is Night Sky. Night Sky is a sci-fi mystery, also on Amazon Prime, starring Sissy Spacek and J.K. Simmons. And they're a married couple, elderly couple, who have a secret amongst them that they haven't shared with anyone, where they have what seems to be either an alien portal or some ancient portal that was hidden underneath their property that they found years ago. And since they found it, they've kept it to themselves. Now, what the portal does is when they get in, it teleports them to another planet. Now, when they arrive on the planet, they're not like out in the open. They're in like this, I guess you want to say a landing, some sort of pod. And you can go outside if you want to, but they don't. They keep it sealed. They know that they're in space. And so they're in this pod, and they set it up as a little place where they can look at the stars. And they have a coffee table there, chairs, this and that. And the show starts off very mysteriously. You don't know anything about the spot. They don't really say anything about it. All they talk about is how many times they've been there and how many times they're going to keep going back. Are they ever going to tell anyone? And so from that point forward, the mystery starts to unravel little by little. And weird things start to happen at first. So you start asking a lot of questions. And the great thing about the show is that it answers the questions slowly, episode per episode. And what's great about it is that by the time you get to the last episode, it has answered all the questions relevant to that first season. You know, there's really no cliffhanger. What there is at the end is what you get to learn about what's coming in season 2, which I hope there is one. You know, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this show too much, but I'm hoping it starts to pick up steam because it is a fantastic show. I know a lot of you guys are J.K. Simmons fans, and if you like J.K. Simmons, watch him in this show. He delivers probably the best acting performance I've ever seen him deliver. And Sissy Spacek, for those of you who don't know, if you're into horror, she played the original Carrie from the 70s Stephen King movie. She does a very charming job. The first 2 episodes are a bit slog. It's tough to get through because, remember, even though I don't really consider J.K. Simmons elderly, he's not, but he's playing an elderly. They're supposed to be an elderly couple. And they are the focus of the show. This is one of the few shows out there where the main leads are older adults. And the first 2 episodes, it's very slow, but it's charming. You know, it's adorable. It's like watching grandma and grandpa on screen. So, but it's after like those first 2 episodes that things really start to pick up slowly, and you get a very diverse cast. And I want to say this because you hear this a lot in Hollywood, right? You hear diversity. This has a diverse cast, and the reason I want to mention this is because it is very organic. There's no forced messaging here. There's nothing being thrown in your face, even though these characters are diverse. There's nothing in the script that throws it in your face that they are. They're just there. They're regular people who just happen to be of different race. That's how it should be. I shouldn't have to be told that they're a different race. They just are. And I love every character. There are some faces here that I've never seen, but based on their performance, it wouldn't surprise me if I see them going forward. There's one young lady, I wish I knew her name, it escapes me now because I saw the show like 3 weeks ago. And but she plays like the granddaughter of the two main characters, and she's a very, very charming character. She genuinely cares for her grandparents, and there's a very intense there's a moment where you almost get scared that it's going to go down that diverse path where her and her grandmother have an altercation. Her grandmother loves her very much, but she keeps her at arm's length when things get rough because she's very proud. She doesn't want help. She wants to be able to deal with things on her own. But her granddaughter takes this as a rejection and then questions her as to whether or not it's because she's black, because their son, her father is white, and who's their son, and obviously the mother's black. And when that happened, I said, "Oh, I hope we're not going down this road." And after that, they had their dialogue, they had their interaction, and it was resolved. Never came up again. It was, at the time it happened, it was a good reason. It was a good question. It fit the story. My concern was after that, would it linger? And it doesn't. And that was very refreshing. It was a scene that the character had a right to feel that way. The character had a right to ask that question. My concern was that it was going to be something that was going to linger on, and it didn't. It wasn't something that was going to be, in other words, what I'm saying is I feared it was going to be a catalyst for a continued conflict between the grandmother and the granddaughter, and it wasn't. It was something that they resolved through love, through communication, and I love that. Now, the show is not super action-packed. There are some action sequences. What makes the show great, obviously, is first and foremost the acting performances. The writing did a great job of it's a slow burn, but it's a good burn. It's not something that you're like, oh, when's it, it's a very good feeling. It is sci-fi. There is mystery there. There are some sad moments. It's just overall a great story. It is so refreshing compared to all the other things we get. I couldn't recommend this more. It's one of my favorite shows so far this year, and I really hope you guys go out there and give it a shot. It's called Night Sky, again, starring J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek. It is on Amazon Prime, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if anyone checks it out. And if you do, let me know in the comment section how you feel about it or in the next stream. But anyway, that's it for my recommendations. Believe me, we're going to have more coming. I have a lot of videos planned going forward. So some of you know, obviously, I'm going to be doing some of the sports stuff because I'm kind of tired of not talking about sports, and sports is entertainment, but we'll get to that. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know if you've seen any of these two shows, how you felt about them, what you thought about them, and we'll have some more to talk about in the recommendation section. Until then, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.